All right, we are back with episode 2 of our unscripted, unplanned podcast series, right out of our upstairs bedroom, guest bedroom. So
No, not our guest bedroom.
Okay, just
This was an empty space for a very long time.
we use this as a prayer room, but
Yeah.
I don't want to say it wasn't seen any action. It was seen action, but you know when we do pray, we pray everywhere else but the actual prayer room. So if we're
That's the
upstairs,
truth.
if we're upstairs in our bedroom, we pray in our bedroom. If we're downstairs in the living room watching TV, pause the TV, pause whatever we're watching, we go pray. We never really use the upstairs prayer room as a prayer room. It was just
Actually, I used it for some time as a yoga room.
yeah, I did too. Actually, good.
We did yoga, and then over the during
when COVID first became,
we
the
did
thing.
yoga together.
Yes, and that lasted what 2-3 days. And that was it.
I bought yoga mats, and
We bought all that stuff. That usually happens when you're gung ho on something. You just I'm gonna buy this, and this, and you
I
never
bought
used it.
what are those resistant bands? I got weights, 5 pounds. I got
And she never went up. She stayed at 5 pounds. So I don't know how the exercise was an actual exercise if you're staying, but that's neither here or there.
nor there.
So again, I want to start off each podcast with like a joke of the day, a quote of the day,
Appropriate.
something appropriate, a saying of the day. Do you have anything? Didn't mean to put you on the spot there, but I don't
No.
have anything. So let's see. I think today's quote / something to go by is something basic. Treat others
Live-
how you would like to be treated.
Live your best life. That's mine.
Cool. That works too. So
Yeah.
each podcast will start off with a quote of the day or something
news to
just
me.
kind of start. If you want to see tomorrow or whenever we record next, I'm going to say the joke of the day, whatever of the day is sponsored by such and such. So if you
Sponsor
wanna
us.
If you want to sponsor something, let
Any
us know.
hijabi. This is from New Rebel. If you want to sponsor me,
So yeah, she's on a new kick right now where she's not wearing the hijab the normal way.
you guys.
She bought a do-rag, threw it on her head, and called it a turban.
This is life changing for all my hijabi peeps out there. I have full range of motion.
Look up. Yeah, this is she
Almost-
does this fine, but then when it's time to look up, she does this.
When I teach,
I'm a robot.
When I teach, it's a game changer. I got so many compliments. It's gonna be great for the summertime. So New Rebel, sponsor me. It's actually a really cool contraption because it's not just a normal hijab, like a rectangle, a scarf. It's an actual little twisty tie.
Take it off and show them how it looks.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, you know what? Okay, episode 3, I have another one. I'll wear this one and we'll model it on Kay's
Yeah,
head.
that's true. It's honestly just a do-rag.
But
she
I
threw
will
on top of
never
her
let
head.
that happen because his head is bigger than mine, and I don't want them to stretch out.
And my head is bigger than mine because I am smart.
Your head is bigger, you said.
My head is bigger than yours because I am smarter than you. But the reason why I have this cap on is because I actually forgot to shave. I didn't forget to shave my head. I was just lazy. So
You couldn't tell from the last podcast, he's bald,
obviously.
so he forgot to shave.
So I forgot to shave. So there was stubble everywhere. To look very unclean on camera. So I decided to throw this hat on with a hole right here. But I think this builds character. That shows there's experience in this head. Okay, quote of the day or whatever of
We
the
already
day is
said our
gone.
quotes of
I know.
the
I'm
day.
saying it's gone.
We hope you guys liked our last podcast. We had fun doing it.
Yeah, again, that was our first podcast. Neither of us have ever done a podcast before, so I know it was a little all over the place. But again, we were just trying to get information out, trying to let you guys know what to look forward to, what's to come, and any ideas. Again, any ideas you guys have, please throw them in the comments. Reach out to us on any social media platform. Hey, Kay, hey, Summer, can you talk about this? And if we feel comfortable enough, why not? Let's share it. Let's talk about it. So when in asking people and friends and kind of what to talk about, topics, things like that, something that was brought up several times was, out of request to talk about, being in an interracial relationship, what that entails, kind of pros, cons. I wouldn't want to say cons, but just expectations versus reality. So shout out to you. You know who you are for bringing up this topic.
I feel like it's a topic that a lot of people want to learn more about, and it's a topic that obviously, like, when you do see interracial couples, it's kind of like, it's still, which is weird even in today's day and age, it's still like that whoa factor, because I feel like he's been to London. I've never been to London, but he says like
I was actually born there. If you guys didn't know, I was actually born in the UK.
I'm pretty sure he did this the last podcast, so I apologize.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that he was saying. Actually, even when we went to Europe, I feel like we saw like a lot of interracial couples, and he was saying that like as far as like the Muslim community too, that there are a lot of interracial Muslims in London.
There are actually, yeah. So what she's touching on is, I've been to London several times. I have family there, and when I went there, I noticed that there were a lot of mixed relationship couples, more so in the genre. Yeah, you saw you're white, you're black, but I also saw a lot, which we don't see here, is a lot of South Asian. So you're Pakistani, you're Bengali, you're Indian half, and I also see a lot of African American, Caribbean, like black half. So I saw that pairing a lot, which I don't see. I mean, I could be wrong. We live in the Chicagoland area, but I don't see much of that. So it's like pretty cool.
We see a lot of like Caucasian and African American, like
classic. Shout out to my athletes out there,
which is like across the board, no matter like the religion,
you didn't get that
whatever.
Joke, did you? Like athletes,
all the athletes,
black guys, tend to go for
whatever. Yeah. Why is that? We've had a really interesting conversation about this before, you guys, with a few friends. And, you brought this up on the last podcast, that Indians, not all, but
she did.
Who knew? You know what's crazy, you guys? What's crazy is I never, ever thought I would be with anybody but an Indian.
Yeah, even she probably thought she was going to marry some Desi doctor or probably some IT dude.
That was just like my normal thing. I just
not to say there's anything wrong with the Desi doctor, because there's a lot of you guys out there.
My cousins,
9 out of 10 of you guys are doctors, but
that's facts.
That's facts.
But actually, my dad's not a doctor, and none of my brothers are doctors either.
That's true.
Yeah.
But they're both, one's a dentist, one's in school for dentistry. Yeah. So,
well, anywho, and we how African Americans, men, typically, not all, prefer white girls.
I wouldn't want to say,
or are attracted
I wouldn't want to say. I would, but I would even go further into that and narrow it down a little bit. I would say a lot of athletes aren't. What the reason behind that is, I have no idea. Don't ask me. I have no idea what that is, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
And then he says that Indian girls are his top, which I don't believe for a second. He said, I've liked every color of the rainbow and yada yada, but Indians are my favorite, and I don't believe it. But for Desi girls, I mean, I think that I don't know.
Which is interesting.
I don't know what it is.
Which is interesting. I have no idea. But that brings up, a very good topic, a very good conversation on, interracial relationships, kind of what they consist of from our point of view, our lens, because obviously we're in one. We can't speak on behalf of anyone else. All we know several other couples who are in interracial relationships. Some of our close friends actually, who are in kind of a mix. But again, it's something that I was honestly, for me speaking, I moved around a lot. So I've lived in several different states, 2 different continents, obviously at that point, 2 different countries.
Yeah, guys, he's a fob. He was born in Nigeria, didn't come in here until he was 7 years old.
Dang, you want to put my whole information out there? You want to give my social security too?
And I was born in America.
Yeah, so she can become a president if she wanted to. I unfortunately can't because I wasn't born here. Yeah, but like she said, I moved from Nigeria when I was 6 to Oklahoma, then Oklahoma, eventually to Illinois. And I think that gave me... That's kind of what shaped my character and made me a very, You were in Oklahoma. Yeah. What's wrong with Oklahoma?
Nothing's wrong with Oklahoma.
She's coming to my former state.
Oklahoma.
Sooner.
Shout out to all of our Oklahoma viewers.
All 0 of you, probably. It's funny because on Instagram, even going into that, on Instagram and TikTok, how you can look at the analytics, and sometimes on Twitter too, a lot of people who, follow us, a lot of people who, talk to us, and that cat's back there are
out of the, from where?
She doesn't hit the backdrop. So a lot of our, people who do reach out to us, talk to us, things like that are, These cats are pissing me off, and I'm telling you. See, we have to keep the door open because why? If we don't, they'll come and scratch and
We
the
should just
background
try
noises.
and see what happens.
Yeah, maybe. So apologies for the distractions, but again, a lot of our followers, or I want to say followers, like where there's whatever
The people who watch the
people who
TikToks.
talk to us or reach out to us, whatever the cases are, all very European heavy. A lot in the UK, which is I don't know why. So, but
That's
again,
so true.
that could speak to what I was saying about a lot of South Asian couples, mixed interracial couples, or wanting to be in a interracial couple come from that region that they reach out to us.
I feel like a lot of the people who did reach out to us, it's a lot of girls. For me, I don't know. Did you ever get any messages from guys?
I got several guys. I got more girls though, because again, I think just girls are just more open to reaching out on social media. Because for me, at least when we were going through our situation, I never reached out to a single person.
I feel like girls need just like that sense of
Right.
hope. Like I think I needed that too, and I didn't get that very often. Where like I was just looking for people who at least succeeded and were able to do it. And I feel like. Maybe with girls we are more open and we have that more emotional side where we want that emotional support from somebody. And even when we were going through it, I feel like you tried to understand what was going on, but you really couldn't.
Right. I couldn't because only for me, it just wasn't something I've dealt with before. So a lot of, people who do reach out to us, the girls, I tend to refer them to my wife. Sometimes I'll respond to them. Sometimes I'll refer them to my wife only because they have that similarity as far as background, family dynamic, things like that. So my wife can relate to them a lot better than I can. A lot of the guys, I try to message and, kind of give advice to as well. But
I feel like something that I noticed with the people that have messaged us is that they're both like the girl who usually reaches out to me and then the guy that she's talking to or is in hopes of getting married to or whatever the situation is also from somebody who's from a really strong, I would say, cultural background. Don't you agree?
Right.
I feel like that was like the trickiest part, but it's so interesting because I feel like it was the trickiest part before we got married, but the thing that made it
made it easier, the blend
after we got married, which is so interesting. I think because both of our cultures are so strong. He's obviously Nigerian, I'm Hyderabadi, I'm Indian. We both have such big cultures and traditions and like just things that have been passed down from both of us.
Yeah, that understanding was there, meaning, certain social events, this is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
This
Even
how much
just the way like the wedding, the ceremonies and what happens and how you guys have all of your traditions for weddings and we have all of our traditions for weddings.
Right, so it wasn't like a 0 to 100 for either of us. We knew that each family, has a lot, right? As far as a background, ethnicity.
And I think that's scary.
Dang, she made chili dogs for iftar, and it's coming back to get me right now.
Yeah, this is not going to be a good bedtime.
Right, it's going to be some tooting going on. But what was I going to say?
But I think that it made... I can speak for my family that I think it honestly made them maybe a bit more worried, like at the beginning because of that fear of the unknown and just like how our kids would be raised, which is understandable. And that's something that we both had to think about too, just like how we would raise our kids, how we would meld together. Meld?
I don't know what.
Like
there's weld and there's melt and there's mold.
Like how you meshed?
Yes, meshed.
I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but yeah, you meld together.
Word of the day brought to you by such and such.
Target.
Meld.
And so like, what was I saying? But no, for our kids, that's what I was saying. How, you bring together both cultures and things like that. Those are all things that we thought were going to be really challenging, but really I feel like those...
Well, I mean, it's yet to be. I mean, I'm sure it is at one point.
Yeah, for kids, I guess we don't know, right, until we actually have our kids. But as far as like the past 4 years that we've had together, I feel like we, alhamdulillah, like as far as cultural, things and understanding each other's culture and like embracing each other's culture, especially for him, I will say
embracing and being respectful of each other's culture, right? So it wasn't.
He's done such a good job of embracing our culture, I feel, especially because I do have a really big big family. I have a really big family in Chicago, and he has family that's just kind of all around. So it's more of his immediate family here, but I have a really big extended family, which I'm sure a lot of you...
My dad is still in my life. I know some of you guys watch are like, he's black. He probably nope, holding strong. But continue. You good?
I'm good. Yeah. So you say things that just get me off track, and I'm trying to have a really deep conversation with you guys, but I have to say is, alhamdulillah, we were blessed. We really, I think he did a good job. I did a good job. Do you think I did a good job?
She did a very good job.
Yeah. I will say we had his brother's wedding.
But it was a smaller because my brother and his wife, my sister, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Well, a year and a half ago because in the fall.
It was in August.
Right. So it was like a year and a half ago, my older brother got married.
I wore the gele, which, if you don't know, is the headpiece that Nigerian women wear. Looks similar to a turban, but there's lots of different styles. So I wore a gele, I wore a Nigerian outfit. We all matched, and
we did.
I got to watch them all dance.
So she got to see like a dumbed down version of my brother and his wife, my sister-in-law, are very like, they don't care to impress people. They don't care to be out and about. They're just they preferred an intimate wedding. Yes, although it was during COVID, but I feel like knowing those two, they would have done the same exact thing. 100%. So a very small, intimate wedding, close family members. Do you think we
would have a wedding like that if we... Okay, honestly...
No. Only because we have too many friends.
Who has too many friends?
We have too many friends to have a small wedding.
So many friends, you guys, and I have...
That's a lie.
4. Maybe on a good day, I have 4. Because with our wedding, it was really at the point where we just wanted to get married.
So we got engaged
November.
We got engaged. I remember it was the same night when my friends was getting married.
I was just going to through my computer to go like delete stuff because I had so much stuff on it, and I saw his proposal video.
So
comment down below if you want to see it.
We don't want to see it. He was so
nervous.
So there was no it was very like, as soon as her parents said, you can marry our daughter, I took no chances. I took no chances in giving them a break and, thinking about changing their mind.
We posted it places so that the whole world knew, so that they couldn't turn back. And
right.
We
literally the day, I think it was maybe a week after they said, I got on a knee and proposed.
Wait,
and
really?
then we got married. Yeah. Then we had the wedding, the nikah, and the reception, all that stuff.
In April.
Probably 5 months later.
Our anniversary is on Thursday.
Yeah.
Which is also my dad's birthday, fun fact.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So I proposed that day, and that was only because I didn't want to take any chances of anything, getting messed up.
Back to what we were talking about, at that point, I was just like...
Why did we bring that up?
We brought that up because I was saying how, I don't know if we were able to take things slow. Honestly, for real, my mom planned that wedding.
Right. And I'm sure a lot of you guys in a similar situation, if you're climbing up this hill for so long, it's, this treacherous hill.
We were just so ready to have,
we're at the
normal...
top, celebrate, get it done over with, because
we wanted a normal life. We wanted to go to the grocery store.
Because we did have a big wedding. We had a lot of people. Again, that's because predominantly her whole family. When I say her whole, you know how you hydros are. You have family members in every crevice of every corner. She has her whole family, extended family, all within,
all my friends are my cousins.
Radius,
and then I have maybe 3 extras.
Right. So everyone's here. So that's why the wedding was so big, only because everyone's here. So there's a lot of family members invited, things like that. So
but I would say that the reason why we were talking about it was because if we did take our time to plan it, I wonder if we would have had something more low key, how his brother would want it, or maybe I think we would.
I don't know. But even with the wedding we did have, I had zero influence, not because they didn't want me. We were just both so oh my God, we can get married. We didn't care.
We were shook.
Anything. I think the only thing I cared about was picking out my outfit. So I wore the traditional Nigerian outfit.
You were also very into the songs that you walked in.
Oh yeah, the songs I wanted. Because again, this is my wedding. And the reason I did the whole Indian wedding, because I've been to several Nigerian weddings before. My brother had a Nigerian wedding, obviously. So I was like, you know what? I don't know when I'm ever going to be a part of an Indian wedding. So I went,
but I
100%.
I do feel if we could go back, I wish we did do more Nigerian. I wish we have a friend or like a couple that we became friends with, and one is Desi and one's Hispanic Mexican.
Right.
And I feel like they also went through their struggles for sure, but like they really took the time during their wedding. I feel, at least the way when we would talk about it, I feel like they really did take their time.
Right. But it's because, for them, both families were heavily involved. My wife's family, there's a lot of strong, dominant women. The guys are there too, not to say that they're non-dominant. Like, it's not like the Kardashian family where the girls just run the show, but there's so many women, so there's just a lot of opinions as far as what they want to do for our wedding. We just let them take the reins and run with them.
I said I wanted my outfit to be purple.
That was pretty much it. In my family, I have my two brothers and one younger sister. So, how guys are, they could care less. My sister, she was probably 18 at the time, so she could care less about my wedding. My parents weren't as involved, not because they hated the situation, but it was more, my mom's very heavily involved in the church. She's a pastor. My dad's a deacon. So for them, it was like they didn't come to the wedding. To this point, it wasn't a bad thing. I wish they were there. It kind of sucks to think about it. The more I think about dang, I wish they would have showed up, but they didn't not come because they hated the situation. They didn't not come. My mom didn't come only because she felt like, hey, it's just an Islamic wedding, because my parents are, not Muslim, but I am. So for them, it was it's an Islamic wedding. In her position in church, she didn't feel comfortable because in my life, in my wife's life, in my parents' life, in all of our lives who do have a religious background, religion should come first, right? So I think my mom was more of the situation where it's what, if she went, she would have felt like she was enabling the whole Islamic part of it. So she wanted to respect her religion. But it kind of, I'm thinking about it now, it's kind of I wish, obviously if she was showing up to my wedding, even in her religion, in mine, God knows both of our hearts. So although we're different faiths, I think that would have been okay. But I didn't press it at that time because I knew, I was listen, I don't want any drama. I don't want any fighting. Let's just get married. And I feel like
she did it in a respectful way, where she wasn't just okay, I can't come to the wedding.
Because, she
That's
booked,
what she explained to us.
There was several events that I was going to have, very traditional Nigerian events, where they booked a hall, but they kind of backed out of it, saying, hey, you know what, I'm kind of having second thoughts about this, only because of the religious aspect of it. But it wasn't
and we kind of had to be understanding.
Right. I completely understood. There wasn't any hard feelings. I wish I would have been there just for the photos, because my siblings and friends were all there. My non-Muslim friends were there. But just for the photo albums and stuff like that. So when I'm showing my kids and my grandkids and their great grandkids, they won't be in those pictures. But of course, we have tons of family pictures with her in it. So, and like I said, to this day, my parents are in love with her.
They're amazing.
My family loves her. So there's no any bad feelings on any side. But again, they weren't at the wedding, which is completely okay.
So, I feel like we just went on 3,000 tangents, all to come back to just
But again, these are the conversations, these are the things you think about when you're in an interracial relationship, right?
You guys should do it. We promote it, and it's a great way to blend.
Exactly. Because obviously it's easier. If you're white, you want to be with somebody white. If you're black, you want to be with somebody black.
Is it easier?
I wouldn't want to say you want to, but it just makes life easier because obviously
you don't have to explain everything.
Exactly. My parents obviously would have wanted me to marry a Nigerian, but I think if they would have said, if we could have Kay, their son, marry a Nigerian or take Summer, they pick Summer in a heartbeat, right? But again, marrying,
vice versa.
Exactly, marrying somebody who's in the same culture as you, same background, it's just easy. You don't have to explain anything. Things just mesh well. There's less friction. And
you just get to appreciate somebody. It was so fun. He's been to thousands of Indian weddings at this point, right. So I don't know how fun they are.
I get heartburn, man, just thinking about going to Indian weddings because just the food.
The biryani, he's
I'm over. I used to love the first year. I was married year and a half, 2 years. I used to love it, but now I can't even eat it anymore.
We got married in April, and then I think that summer, 2 of my very close cousins, they both got married, and I think he went to
I had several weddings, man.
Several just that summer, the first
weddings,
summer,
right?
So you got hit hard that first summer,
a lot.
And if you know Indian food, we see it on TikTok. Everyone's eating fufu. Everyone's eating butter chicken.
People eating fufu at Indian weddings?
No, on TikTok.
Why fufu?
I don't know.
You said Indian weddings.
No, I'm saying about people are eating all of our cultural food, right. So you know that our food is
right.
heartburn.
It's not central. It was. Our foods are.
But yours is too. Yeah, you have spicy food.
Yeah,
too,
we have spicy food, but both of our cultures' food is very unhealthy. But whatever.
But really,
there's a lot of oil, but it's very good.
We love it.
But again, that's just one of the pros about being in an interracial relationship, because you don't know what you don't know, right? So you learn about things when you experience them. I had South Asian friends in high school, college, things like that, but not to the level I have now. So I wasn't, eating at their house every day. It was kind of just stereotypes. I couldn't tell the difference between a Pakistani, a Bengali,
okay,
an
but
Indian.
can you tell the difference now?
Yeah,
I personally
I think I can tell the difference, not between a Pakistani Indian, but like a South Asian Muslim and a South Asian non-Muslim. I can tell the difference. It's just apparent. I don't know.
I think I can tell the difference between an Indian and a Pakistani. Test me.
Well,
down below.
Or how they test you.
Show me a picture of an Indian person and a Pakistani person, and I'll be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, but again, we're going off another tangent.
I will say, though, what was on my mind is like the opposite side of it. I'm trying to think of like what cons we could share with you guys. The one thing that comes to mind for me, I don't know if this is a con because obviously we don't have kids yet, but I have heard about how like kids who do come from interracial relationships, the identity, it's like, okay, you can't fit in with the Indian crowd because you're not fully Indian, but then you can't fit in with like the
right. It's are you Indian enough, Indian enough,
what are
or
you
are you black enough, right? So
I have heard of this before, like
so I'm just letting you know right now, if any of you pick on my future unborn children, we gonna have some problems. Straight up.
Who are you speaking to?
Whoever these bullies are that's gonna pick on my unborn future soccer star, future basketball star.
Yeah, we're gonna have an athlete, and it's gonna be our goal is to make inshallah that it's a girl. She's hijabi. Ibtihaj Muhammad, you are amazing. But anywho,
who is that? Oh, the fencer.
Yeah,
is she the fencer? Yeah.
Hijabi and like an all-star. And guys, we were talking about, he's a coach. He's a basketball coach.
I do that on the side. Yep, I coach girls basketball.
And we always talk about how like what kind of mom I'll be like when I'm watching my kid play sports.
Yeah, playing sports.
I'll be crying in the corner, and then Kay will be
as soon as like her whoever it is, like our child gets touched or something, gets basketball, a little bit of contact,
I'll run onto the court.
She'll cry. She'll start.
I'll be the mom to bring the Gatorade, so don't worry. I'll bring the snacks. Don't worry.
I won't. I thought I would be the, inshallah, if we do have children.
Inshallah.
I thought I'd be the dad that'd be like, hey, get together, Tommy. Our kid's name's not gonna be Tommy. But get it together, like kind of just like be aggressive. But now that I see how a lot of these dads are, I see how a lot of these moms are during our games, I'm like, man, I know what not to do, because being on the kids side, you see how much pressure it puts on them.
For sure. And they're only like 14 years old.
Yeah, so they're trying to impress their parents while at the same time perform on the court. It's very hard. It's a very good balance. So if any guys are parents that do have kids in sports, my advice would be back off a little bit. You still want to be engaged to show them that you care, but at the same time, you don't want to put too much pressure on them, because that does not allow them to perform to their best ability on the court. So, because we do have parents who are out there who love their children, but do too much.
Encouraging your kid and like critiquing them in a way that is effective. I feel like that's the difference. And it's all, you know what it's all about? It's all about
Spaghetti.
your tone.
Tone.
It's about your tone and the way you approach.
But if you're a naturally aggressive person, that's okay, because that's me. When we get into our little tips,
see a whole episode, you guys, whole episode.
But let me just touch on this real quick.
Have you guys ever seen that SpongeBob episode? Imagination, communication.
So, but what I want to say is, I'm naturally like
you're not aggressive.
Extrovert. I'm not aggressive, but I'm a very loud talker. I talk with my hands.
That's what the issue is.
If I raise my voice from here to here, this is not me getting aggressive. This is me raising my voice slightly. But if her voice is all the way down here, so it just makes it look like my voice is that much higher when it's not.
That's why we talk at the same tone. It's all. What did I say, everybody? Say it with me in the comments.
Communicate. What did you say?
No, it's all about the tone.
Tone. Which I am working on, but we'll have a separate discussion on that one.
That's episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So,
and we'll probably do separately so we don't start fighting on the podcast. But
yeah, guys, you guys should witness that. That'd be great content. Have you ever watched a codcast?
A codcast? Okay. Dang, the second word of the day. First we had mouth, now we have codpast.
Have you guys ever seen a podcast?
Sounds like a country in Turkey.
Where a couple...
Yo, let's go visit Codpast.
Yeah, it really does. Budapest. Wait, is Budapest?
Yeah, it's Budapest.
Wow.
Wait, is Budapest in Turkey? Wait,
we were
is
thinking,
Budapest in Turkey?
I have no idea, but he wanted
I
to
think it
do the
is.
TikTok trend where you see the flag.
We'll do it. Trust me,
Guys,
we'll do it.
I can tell you the India flag. I can tell you the Japan flag.
What's the Nigerian flag? What colors? That's crazy.
And on that note, the podcast
What does
ending
NAACP
here.
stand for?
NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
Okay, nice.
That-
But
That was really
that was good. And we're off topic yet, but going back to our topic, yes, I mean, but
so if you want to see us fight, comment down below. We get into some really good ones.
But that Back to the Future, kids are in the future, inshallah. But
Inshallah.
so when we cross that bridge as far as dealing with kids and all that interracial stuff, but I would say, being
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other cons. What other, not cons. I don't like saying cons, but potential
we say
roadblocks.
expectation versus reality.
Yeah,
Right. So
that's one.
I think that before getting into a relationship, I think when you see it from the outside, you automatically assume there's just friction. There are growing pains, but not in a bad way. I mean, just learning things about each other's culture, learning what's not acceptable. Because for me, at least in my family, we don't a word so normalized, like the word idiot. We don't use that in my family. That's like a very bad word in my family.
And we say, and like me and my cousins.
Yeah, it's a very disrespectful word. Yeah, so when we
Okay, first of all,
Exactly,
before anyone get it twisted,
Exactly.
I never call him an idiot because he made it clear at the beginning.
every time she'd be like, when we get to a little small tip, like, ooh, Chupker, you idiot. I'm like, okay, whatever that is. She would say
You
that,
meant to
Chupker, you
Chupker.
idiot. Chupker. You idiot.
No.
So, but
First
no,
of
I'm
all,
just
I
kidding.
could never imagine calling him an
but
idiot.
You used to say it because I think you call
Like
other people
I
that.
naturally say that with my cousins. Like our cousins, we just say like, "Okay, you idiot." Like we
Right.
just say that. That's just like more of like a what is it? Like
A reflex.
just like a term of endearment. That's just the way we like.
What?
Yeah, it really is.
I love you, idiot.
No,
Okay.
it's just the way we talk.
Yo, I'll
to
catch
each
you later,
other.
idiot.
Because we
Will
love
you
each
marry
other.
me, idiot?
No. Okay, so but I would never call you an idiot. Maybe
Yeah,
I did
you
like at
better
the
not.
beginning.
You better not.
Yeah, big shit. It's messed up. Anywho, we just talked about another thing. Oh, he also in his family, like they all like culturally, they feel that it's disrespectful to say shh.
Yeah.
Right?
That's just like,
That was
it's just
another
like
one.
a thing. It's just, I don't know. It's just certain
Like
things.
it's like he said, he thinks it's like talking down to somebody.
Right.
So
But again,
like,
these are things you learn about each
Right.
other. So before I mentioned that, the reason why I was saying that is because from the outside looking in, you expect there to be that friction, that turmoil, but that's never it. We never sat down and said, all right, here's what we do in my culture. Here's what we do in yours. How do we learn that? No, it just happened naturally, being
Yeah.
her being around my family, me being around hers.
and like understanding that we are coming from completely different cultures, and what, like when I say the word idiot, I don't mean it in the intention that maybe he thinks, and so him just explaining that, it's like okay, I won't do it because I don't want you to think that's ever my intention.
Right, exactly.
Even though he would never think it would be my intention to say it in like a derogatory way or whatever.
Right.
So I think
Right.
it all just comes with, what is it, everyone? Communication.
Right. So, but again, that's just one of those things, that kind of expectations versus reality. What
Yeah.
else? I would say, one of the good things about it, which we touched on earlier, food. The food is always smacking.
For sure.
The food is always good.
His mom.
Good portions.
His mom.
Moms in general. Her mom. My
I
mom's
swear,
in general.
like I'm so confused.
It's like
about
once you become a mom, your cooking skills
it's
just
crazy.
they take off.
I can't make beef in my house. I literally don't make beef in this house because it does not turn out like my mom's. It's like, what's the point? If it doesn't turn out like my mom's food, what's the point of eating it?
Exactly. So, but
So yeah, food is a huge one. Obviously, like the clothes and the fun parties and the, excitement, the dancing into his culture is
Right.
so fun.
and just learning,
Yeah.
because if you grow up in a household, you experience what you experience, but once you do start to experience other cultures, other things in its totality, it just opens your eyes to how big the world is.
But anyhow, I feel like there are definitely pros, and I feel like with any relationship, like every relationship has things that they all need to work on, regardless of if you're in a relationship.
There's an extra layer added when
relationship.
you're in a interracial relationship.
But it could be good things. I feel like honestly, through this whole podcast, we came up with one possible barrier like that could potentially happen. Obviously, every couple's different. Every family's different. We are really, really blessed that we had families that were very supportive. So I think that helps a lot. And like siblings are all very much open to it. So I think those can be big. We were blessed in that because if you don't have your family, for us, that was kind of like that would have been a huge roadblock for us, I think.
Yeah.
So all in all, I really feel like we were really blessed with the situation that we were put in, and we are just trying to embrace it. And, once we have kids, go through all of that, inshallah, if we do have kids and when we do have kids.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's really are no negatives to it unless you make negatives out of it. But overall, I think it's a good thing to be in an interracial relationship because interracial relationship only because that's how you learn, as I mentioned before. That's how you learn about the world. Exactly. Put yourself in it. Take yourself out of your own shoes. Just kind of life.
Teaching one another.
See life from a different lens. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah,
we're blessed. It's a good thing.
As DJ Khaled would say, does he say that? I think he says blessed.
Wait, what's his like?
Another one. Not another.
Another one.
Oh my God.
He says that any song that I sing, it sounds
like a kid. Any rap song, any song, period. When Summer sings it, it just sounds like a kid's version.
Play a Drake song right now. Go. Drop a beat. That's for the next podcast. So stay tuned for the next podcast.
So again, we hope you guys enjoyed it.
Like, comment,
if not, screw you.
We got a few very kind comments, all people we knew. So hopefully we'll get a couple.
So those,
more.
How when people in a couple years, and if this is on a bigger platform, we can always say, hey, we remember the ones that have been there since day one. We know who you are. For sure. We know who you comment, which one of you commented. So I'm just kidding. Any one follower, one viewer.
We just hope you guys enjoy.
Again, we're not doing this for anything outside of just our entertainment, our fun, killing time.
For sure.
But
clearly, we both have ADHD and can't focus on one single topic. So
if you want us to, talk about anything specific, and I know we kind of took a week hiatus, but we've both been extremely busy. Extremely busy with everything going on. So, but hopefully we'll try to put at least one or two out a week.
Whoa.
All we have to do is talk.
Well, I know, but you have to edit.
Right.
It's easier for me because I talk and then I'm like
she's not even talking to the mic.
I talk and then I'm like, that's the end of my job here.
Right. But we have fun with it. Again, it's just for fun. Nothing.
It really is fun. It's just fun to just sit back and talk about different conversations. And we really don't have anything really planned. We just start talking. So if you guys do have anything.
Here's an opportunity for me to pitch an idea. Right. I think I mentioned it briefly last podcast too. I really, really, really want to do some type of speed dating for Muslims, and halal way, a very appropriate way, but just to get. I think
he would love for nothing more than his job to be the ultimate
matchmaker. That's what I would do, because I just see people I know who would be good together, but they just don't see it.
Love.
I love, as we all should, man. We all should love, peace, harmony, Black power. But sure. Yeah, so again, if you want us to talk about anything specific, please drop down in the comments, reach out to us. We hope you guys are enjoying our conversation, our table talk.
Hopefully we made you laugh. Hopefully if you're feeling sad, this podcast helped you a little bit, or if you're bored, this podcast entertained you a little bit, because it's fun for us to do. So yeah.
All right.
Well, stay tuned for
so
episode
long. Farewell.
Number 3.
To you, my
We'll
friends.
see you guys next time. Peace.